and just concentrate for a second. I can't get anything through his head. This is his advisor. Okay. Meadite explains that Armstrong Williams, a close Carson advisor, said that Ben Carson, when asked about this, just froze because he's been briefed on it many times, right? Now, that's referring to a Chris Wallace interview, not even the debate. On Friendly Territory on Fox News, over the weekend, Carson goes on there, and Chris Wallace says, okay, who's the first ally that you would reach out to if you're fighting against ISIS? Now, it's a friendly question. It's a softball. Who's the, just name one ally in the region. Jordan, Turkey, an ally. The easiest question in the world, right? Okay. And so Armstrong has to come out afterwards. He froze, but we told him many times. You had to tell him who our allies in the Middle East are? And he's running for president, and he's in second place. But even though you try to drill it into his dumbass head, when he asked the simplest question in the world, oh man, Jesus Christ, man. So now we go back to the New York Times explaining this. But the briefings do not always seem to sink in, Mr. Claridge acknowledged, as his top military advisor. After Mr. Carson struggled on Fox News Sunday to say whom he would call first to form a coalition against the Islamic State, Mr. Claridge called Mr. Williams, the candidate's top advisor, in frustration. He said, quote, we need to have a conference call once a week where his guys roll out the subjects they think will be out there, and we can make him smart. Oof. When you have to try to make a candidate smart after he's already launched his campaign, you might be in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't know the first thing about the Middle East. Herman Cain might have known more than this guy. I mean, the rest of the barbarians on the Republican side look like rocket scientists compared to this guy. And the amazing thing is, he did brain surgery. You remember that old line about, not brain surgery, right? Figuring out who one of our allies in the Middle East is not brain surgery. But maybe that's the problem. He only knows brain surgery. He's like, ally, not brain surgery, don't know. Oh, you're so sad. You're so sad. Okay, finally, since Claridge came out and said the truth, they had to bury a, hatchet in his back. So they come out with a statement about him.
Subjective.
He's coming to, referring to their top military advisor, he's coming to the end of a long career of serving our country. Mr. Claridge's input to Dr. Carson is appreciated, but he's clearly not one of Dr. Carson's top advisors. For the New York Times to take advantage of an elderly gentleman and use him as their foil in this story is an affront to good journalism. Before they're bragging about all his experience, once he says to them, this guy doesn't know a thing, and we can't get him to sit down to learn one thing about the Middle East or any foreign policy, they turn around like, oh, experience? We didn't. Wait a minute, he's an old. Carson's campaign is an enormous joke foisted upon the American people and the Republican Party. And by the way, Republican voters, you know how you like to get mad at the media? See, this is what the media does. They vet someone so you don't accidentally elect a complete and utter, whether it's a moron or a person who's ignorant of the issues, because that's what he is, right? Even if he's really smart in one area, he's certainly ignorant in this area. You can't put that guy in the Oval Office when he doesn't know anything about foreign policy. See, they're trying to help you. You know what that would do, Republicans, if you paid attention and cared about facts? It would help you pick a better candidate. You had 17 to choose from. So you've got plenty of candidates to choose from. It doesn't have to be him. But instead, of course, Republican voters look at this and go, oh, man, local media talking. No, I don't have to know anything about the Middle East. He doesn't know anything about it. Hey, good luck to you, brother. Good luck to you. This is Ben Carson. This is sad. Young Carson. The other day, President Obama came out and said, hey, we can't talk about discriminating against refugees based on their religion. You can't say, hey, just let the Christians in, but don't let the Muslims in. Now, Rush Limbaugh was very upset about this. He thought the president was making that up.
This is Obama tougher on Republicans than he ever is on ISIS. This is a press conference at the G20 summit. He then lectured everybody on how we have to accept Muslims as well as Christians, or we're all just a bunch of bigots.
When I hear folks say that, well, maybe we should just admit the Christians but not the Muslims. When I hear political leaders suggesting that there would be a religious test, that's shameful. That's not American. That's not who we are.
By the way, can anybody tell me who is it? He says political leaders suggesting that there should be a religious test for these refugees. We should admit the Christians, not the Muslims. Who said that? Do you know anybody who said it? Well, I can't think of anybody who has. You know, I wish he would name names. He starts alleging all of the bigots are out there. I want to know who he's talking about. But I'll guarantee you this, the low information crowd in the Democrat Party thinks he's talking about Republicans. And that's the whole purpose of the comment. But he won't name names, all these imaginary bigots out there.
Imaginary bigots. Someone's saying that we should not let in the Muslims, but let in the Christians. Name names! Nobody ever said that, right? Well, it would be my pleasure, Rush. So we go to a CNN report. Ted Cruz, like other Republican hardliners, has argued that the risk of Islamic militants infiltrating the refugee population is too high for America to accept them with open arms. On the stuff across South Carolina, Cruz argued that the percentage of refugees that are young men suggests that ISIS may look to take advantage of any relaxation to immigration laws. Now, so far, like the other Republicans, no, hell no to refugees. Here comes the distinction. The Texas senator instead thinks that Muslims fleeing Syrian civil war should be repopulated in other Muslim countries. But the Christian population, he believes, has nowhere else to go. And Cruz batted away concerns by telling reporters at Myrtle Beach on Sunday that Christians pose no meaningful risks to national security. In other words, and now, by the way, he has introduced a bill to the same effect, saying, yeah, be bigoted. No Muslims, but let's do a religious test, and then if they pass the religious test and we can really verify that they're Christian, then we're going to let them into it. What happened, Rush? I thought there was nobody saying that. I thought the Democrats were making it up to make the Republicans look bad. See, we don't have to do that. The Republicans look bad all on their own. Okay, not just Ted Cruz, but here's Rupert Murdoch, who, of course, the owner eventually of Fox News. He put out a tweet. Obama facing enormous opposition to accepting refugees. Maybe make special exceptions for proven Christians. Exceptions for Christians, not just Christians, though. Proven Christians. You've got to really prove yourself. Papers! Okay, let's separate out the religions, everybody. This worked out great last time. So, okay, now, some of you go over there and wear something, and some of you come over here, and you guys are the good guys, and so come on in. Now, imagine if they did the same thing. And this is somebody on during the live show yesterday tweeted this out to us, right? So imagine if they did the same thing during World War II. Well, you know, the Christians